dudes saying they got their passport and they about to go overseas to find their wife, and you see they have the initials SYSBM in their bio, which is short for Save Yourself Black Man. Those dudes are tricks. These dudes have a firm understanding that they're so socially awkward and so socially inept that they need to pay to have access to coochie. Thing is, they're so broke that they can't afford the cost of women, sex workers here in the United States. So these dudes with warehouse jobs, these the type of Negroes that work on the line up there in Detroit in the car plants, they take their little 35, 40K overseas because it stretches longer.
Talking about how they are sick of women in America and how they're going to get their passports and go overseas and find them a wife. Well, the truth of the matter is, you don't want a wife. You want a slave. You want a maid. You want a personal assistant. These women are in dire financial need. And it sickens me that you get online and vocalize and brag about getting your passports and going to these countries with these to get a wife who needs a green card to escape extreme poverty. Whether you pay her family, whether you pay her, whether no matter what the circumstance is, she is in a dire situation. How dare you capitalize off of the fact that this woman just wants to live and thrive financially. And then you called it a marriage. That's not marriage. It's modern day slavery, and I think that it's sick. I think that it's disgusting, and all you're really doing is sifting yourself from the real divine masculines and alpha males. Because when they walk in the room, we know it. You know why? Because we feel safe. And we're not safe with you. And we know it, and that's why we're disrespectful to you. That's why we don't like you, and that's why we don't give a damn that you're going to another country to find a wife. And while you're there, get the help you need to heal your inner child, because we know that you're unhealed, that you are narcissistic, and that you're a toxic person. So while you're spending your money on your new bride, be sure to get the help that you need to. We ain't mad. We don't want you. We see you. You're not a divine masculine. We ain't mad.
And I would be fine.
What was the key? What did your mother know? What truth was coming through your mother that's going to come through you to your daughter?
My mother gave us aphorisms to learn as children. And there are two that stand out foremost in my mind. One is, the inner reality creates the outer form. I learned this when I was in grade school. I was very young. And the other is, the universe bears no ill to me. I bear no ill to it.
Alright. Just got the call, it's going down tonight. It's a lot of goodbyes here tonight. But then I saw the sky and that I like. Here from Cali, I live in the valley. Then you look sexy.
Yo! What's going on out in these streets? Yep. What's up with these lights, man? This shit ain't working right. Hold on. Shit ain't working right, man.
Power on. The Bluetooth device is ready to pair. The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Heck with that. Come on. Like, share the video and all that good stuff. You know? What's going on out in these streets? In the streets of the ATL. I left that motherfucker. Speaking of ATL, I was talking to somebody from Atlanta this week. One of my old partners, my old road dogs. He still lived there. So we were just chopping it up, you know. And I guess he called to check up on me, see what I had going on up here. But hey, better him than me living down there. It's cesspool down there, you know. It's kind of like the media, kind of like the mainstream media. It's very similar. Atlanta is very similar, just socially speaking. You know, man, if you've been paying attention to the media lately, as far as men go, there's no manhood is not being celebrated within the mainstream media. Y'all saw what they did to what's the guy Carey, what's the basketball player name, man? I don't know these. I don't follow the NBA. Everybody threw my man under the bus. It was Kyrie Irving, I think that's his name, the basketball player. People that didn't have anything to. They don't even know the guy, and they throwing him under the bus. That's what's crazy. And you had certain people might have said something one day, and they had to come back and apologize, you know. Yeah, when it's too much apologizing going on, you know. You got Shaq, and oh, come on, Shaq. Come on, Shaq. You know, Shaq. I mean, you can't even. What the hell? Oh, when it comes to Shaq, you can't even. You can't even make this shit up. You can't even justify some of the stuff he be doing every once in a while. He don't. I mean, some of the stuff he says from time to time, I'll be like, oh God. And did you see? There's a video floating around of Shaq on the panel, and he's wearing a Freemason ring. Did you see that? There's a video floating around with Shaq got on a big damn football size ring, like Super Bowl type ring. That's how big the ring is. But it's a masonry ring. Did you see that? Do you know what that means? Damn. Shaq switch sides on us, man. Shaq done switch sides on us, man. You know? It's okay. You know, it's okay that have switch sides. You know, this StreamYard is been funny style lately. You know, I don't know what the hell's going on. Hold up. I paid the damn. Maybe it's the damn internet. Let me see something, man. I thought I paid this damn bill. I thought I paid this internet bill, man. Let me make sure. Boy, this thing been acting janky lately, boy. Let me see something. Actually, I didn't pay it. I'm paying it right now. That's probably the problem. Let me see. 77, 89. I think I'm gonna go. Two. That's probably why, but it ain't. It's only 6 days past due. It can't be that bad. Yeah, this internet been acting real funny style. The past 3 days. I'm telling you, bro. First, I thought I got hacked. I probably did get hacked. You know. But even YouTube, well, YouTube always been funny style. So I'm kind of used to that. YouTube acting funny style. But you just never know. But yeah. Yeah, man, but Shaq is not the only person I know that's a Freemason. You know. Actually, I grew up with a guy that's a Freemason. We're like cousins. We're like first cousins. He's like a Freemason. You know, and he's kind of a funny style cat anyway. And he's always been that way. So when I found out he was a Freemason, I wasn't even surprised. Because, you know, he kind of always had a chip on his shoulder, like he was better than the rest of us. You know? Now, the thing about being a Freemason, to me, is it doesn't make any sense. Why would I want to be a Freemason? They stole your shit, and now they want you to join them. Or you want to join them. So they just know history. They know our history. And you want to join them. Why? I don't know. A lot of these guys, back in the day, a lot of these guys used to become Freemasons so they could stay out of jail. This was when I was growing up. You know, like in the 80s and 90s. That was like a big thing. A lot of these guys were Freemasons because they wanted to stay out of jail. And a lot of these guys were like, 5% is 2. 5% is, no, not 5%. They were in jail all the goddamn time. But a lot of them Freemasons, that was like the big thing. Become a Freemason so you can stay out of jail. And if you get stopped by a cop, if you happen to get stopped by a cop, you know, they'll have a sticker on the back of the car, on the back of the truck, or the window or something like that. And the cop sometimes would let them go or whatever. This type of shit used to happen a lot. And it's like if they go to court, and you know, most of these judges are Masons, Master Masons, most of them. And if they went to court, you know, they would do their little sign. I don't know the sign, but they have a handshake, and then they have a and then dismiss or, basically they wouldn't go to jail at the end of the day, And I've heard a lot of stories like this. I mean, I've never seen it, personally, but that was a big thing back in the day, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. That was interesting. The whole shit crashed. Damn. I started dropping that fire. And the whole computer froze up and crashed. That's the first time that ever happened. Isn't that interesting? You know what's funny? Before I got on here live on YouTube, in the back area, somebody disabled a certain section of the video. Before I even got there, it was disabled. And every time I would change it to the settings that I want, it reverted back to the settings that somebody else wanted. That's the first time that ever happened. So maybe it's the topic that they don't like. But that's interesting though. But this type of stuff, this has been happening to me since I had this channel. Like, it started like what? 3 years ago. They blacklisted me. They blacklisted me like 3 years ago. For whatever reason, I don't know. All I do is talk about women and talking about guys. I talk about guys more than women, So that's interesting though. The whole shit crashed a while ago. Man. That's never happened before. Wow. But that's not by accident. But as I was saying before I was interrupted, like I said, I have a cousin, that's in those private clubs. And, you know, this country was founded on secret clubs, secret organizations, you know. But, you know, I to me personally, it just never made any sense for me to be a part of anybody's club. And especially if I know the history, especially if I know, you know, I don't want to be nobody's slave. You know, I don't want to bend the knee like they used to say back in the day. I don't want to be nobody's. I don't want no master. You know, I want to be the captain of my own ship. So that's why, to me, it just never made sense to be a Freemason. It just never made sense to me. And I know people that's a part of it. I know people that's a part, just like being a frat. Being a frat is a good example. It just never made sense to me. The pledge. Now, I thought about being I almost pledged when I was in college. I almost pledged, what was it? Sigma. I almost pledged Sigma when I was in college. And once they told me about the hazing and all that shit, I'm like, nah, you ain't doing that to me. So I like, nah, I ain't gonna, this ain't gonna work for me. So that was the end of that. But you're not doing none of that hazing and all. No. And see, another thing, when I was on campus, and I said, well, what's the purpose of being a Sigma at the time? I asked them guys that. What do they do? What are they all about? You know, do they own something? Do they run something? Do they got clout? Not really. At least not back then. I don't know about now. Basically, it was, you know, dudes just hang out together and party and smash girls together and help guys get jobs once they graduate. That's basically was it, really. I'm like, well, shit, I can do that by myself. What I need to join you guys for? You know, and plus, my parents had to pay for this shit if I was to join. I ain't had no money. I'm like, what? At the time, I'm 18 at the time. I ain't had I think it was like $1,500, $2,000, something like that, the pledge at the time. So my parents was going to pay that shit. So I didn't want my parents to pay for some bullshit. So, I mean, if I was going to pledge, I wanted this shit to be legit. So I didn't felt the need to join the Sigmas. You know. Now I heard about the Q Dogs, but they weren't accepting any new people at the time. So that wasn't an option. You know what I'm saying? But you have these secret clubs, secret organizations. They're very secretive most of the time. As a matter of fact, most people that's in these secret clubs, most of them will not tell you they're associated with them. You know? Now, there's some people that just don't care. Like Shaq. He had the big ring on, so he don't care. There's some people that wear the clothes, wear all the gear, because they don't care. And there's different levels. Some people have higher rank, more pull, got, clout. So a lot of those people don't really care. Even you have judges, cops, attorneys, all of these people, all of these people are part of these secret organizations. Even some of these groups that we don't even know about, they don't even necessarily have a name, but people are a part of them and they do whatever they do, But I just never, the old saying goes, you can't serve two masters, So, and it's good. Keep in mind that all these organizations, even religious groups, they have certain things you have to do and abide by. You have to, they have rules, and if you don't follow the rules, there's consequences and you get kicked out. Blood in, blood out. Kind of like the mafia. That's how it is. For the most part. There's a lot of celebrities, entertainers that have joined a lot of these groups and didn't like it. And some of them got out alive and some of them didn't. That's usually how it goes. I remember there's a mafia dude. He's not in the mafia no more, but he said he's the only made man that got out the mafia without snitching. Yeah. So I don't think anything happened to him. It wasn't no consequences or nothing like that. And I wonder how did he do that? If that's the case. Usually there's a price to pay if you want to get out of these secret clubs. Yeah, that's usually how it goes. Some people say it's a sacrifice, but sacrifice is kind of a broad word. I would say it's consequences. That's a better word, better choice of words. Some people say, "Oh, he sacrificed." They started saying all kind of shit. It sacrificed Tupac, and every time somebody dies, especially if they're a rapper or some type of entertainer, every time somebody dies, there's a conspiracy video that comes out all of a sudden. And it says, oh, this person was sacrificed because they wanted to get rich and they wanted the group to be super successful. And how the hell do we know? I mean, how the hell do we know? We don't know. I don't know if people get sacrificed, if these people get sacrificed or not. I have no idea. Some people say, oh, the reason why he's so successful, she or he are so successful is because they sacrificed their family. You know, some crazy shit like that. And I'm not saying that they didn't sacrifice their family, but I really don't know if it's true or not. That's all I'm saying. I really don't know. I mean, I don't talk conspiracy talk because I really don't know. I don't know any of these damn people. And I don't care to know any of them either. I don't hang out with athletes and entertainers. These are some of the worst people on the planet, just socially speaking. You know, and I used to be around a lot of them. I used to be around their inner circle back in the day, before they blew up or when they was on the come up. And even some that was on the come up, I was around. I was like young, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then I went in the Navy. And that was all she wrote. That was the last time I hung out with any type of entertainer. When I went in the Navy, that was it. Now, I met some of them, being that I lived in Atlanta for 10 years at the strip club. You know, you see them at strip clubs. You go to Magic City or Onyx, you see them up in there from time to time. You see people up in there. If you go to the clubs like I used to, you're gonna see them for sure. You know, but the way these guys operate, you know, that's not a good representation of manhood on television. As a matter of fact, the more feminine or unmanly you act, you apologizing, you crying, you throwing other black people under the bus, black men specifically, the more you do that, the more you get celebrated, the more you get compensated, the more opportunities you get on television. The more you stand up for yourself, the more you show that you have standards, principles, morals on television, the more you get punished. That's how it's going now. You get punished if you buck the system. If you stand up for yourself, you get castrated, you get tossed to the wayside. Look what they did to Kaepernick. They kicked him out the league. So you trying to be a man, you got to get up out of here, buddy. You know, he got kicked out, man. They pushed him out. Straight up. That was gangster, man. That was a gangster move. Like, for real. Well, you might say, well, hey, he got his money, man. The NFL settled, gave him his money, and he good. Yeah, he's good. Financial-wise, yeah. But he can't play football no more. And why not? Because he took a knee? Come on, man. And they're doing the same thing with Kyrie Irving. I mean, I hope I got his last name right, man. I hope I got his last name right. They're doing the same thing with him. They trying to kick him out the NBA. They're making him jump through all these hoops. If you want to play basketball ever again, this is what you got to do. There's a list of crazy shit. I didn't even read everything on the list. But I'm like, this shit ain't the shit on the list. This ain't got nothing to do with basketball. And he ain't do nothing. He didn't say anything bad about nobody. All he did is just shared a documentary that, the link of a documentary that was on Amazon. Yeah. Now the NBA do owe him a lot of money. Because he didn't take that shot. And come to find out, and they say it's unconstitutional to tell employees to stay home if they haven't gotten the shot. I didn't even know that. So that's grounds for a lawsuit. That's what I was told. I didn't even know that. I mean, most attorneys I know didn't even know that. But damn. So they owe him millions of dollars. But, they're playing games. Now, if you buck the system, and check this out. Another thing, when it comes to us, nobody's afraid of us. That's another thing. Because who has? I mean, if you get attacked, if I get attacked, you get attacked. Who has your back? Who has my back? We're alone. We're on our own. We have to fend for ourselves. These other guys, they're not like that. These other guys, they got people behind them in most cases. So nobody's afraid of us. That shit is real out here. This doggy dog out here. I learned this when I was in the military. A lot of times it's not what's in front of you, it's what's behind you that people are afraid of. Even the mafia understand this. Even the Muslims understand this. Religious groups understand this. Yeah, that's how it is. It's about power, influence. That's what it's really about out here. And domination. That's why a lot of these guys, these commentators on the NBA and NFL, a lot of the black dudes, they have to, put the tail between the leg, because they'll threaten them. They'll say, hey, if I didn't apologize, or if I didn't throw this person under the bus, I'll probably lose my job. They be threatening them dudes like that. You can't, if you say the wrong thing, man, they throw you out. They might lose their job, man. And they even had what's my man name? Excuse me. They even had my man Shannon Sharp. They even had him stuttering on the damn show. They haven't Skip Bayless. Skip. Right, skip. Right, skip. He called Skip Bayless' name probably 100 times before the damn show over. skip. Even had him on the show. He threw, they in Hollywood, they a lot of these guys do what they call a toe the line sometimes. It's like they go hard on most black people, but they almost never go hard on the white people. It's like a thin line, Now, if they go too hard in on the white people, there's gonna be some consequences when it comes to that shit. And we seen Stephen A. Smith get hemmed up a couple times. We seen that. He got suspended. I think like 2 or 3 times, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember what he said, but we seen countless examples of this. Jalen Rose, he had to apologize the other day. He's like, I think I said something I shouldn't have said, And that's because a lot of us are not in a position to really be speaking freely. Freedom ain't free. Freedom ain't free, man. You can say what you want to say, but there might be some consequences depending on who you are. So a lot of these guys don't really have it like that. That's my point. They ain't really got it the way you think. You're only as strong as the people on your team or the people you have around you. So that says a lot about a lot of these guys. Probably the best thing they got is them being a commentator on television. Anything else, in most cases, they can be stripped down in 1 week or in 2 days, like Kanye did. Think about this for a second. Kanye said he lost, what, 2 billion? 1.5 billion in what, 2 days? I think he said 1.5 billion in 2 days. And these other guys, they don't got billions. And some of these guys been out the league for a while, for a couple of years now. And they don't got billions of dollars. So you can imagine what would happen to them. I mean, they might get really stripped down and be back out here with us. Be back out here with me. Can't have that. They can't come back out here with me. Can't come back out here with us. That's like man, if some of these guys had to come back out here with us, they probably would commit suicide. Jump off the fucking window. You can't take this. I can't go back anymore. Give me a knife. Give me a knife. Dude, I can't take it no more. I can't go back with the Negroes. Yeah, some of these dudes, boy, they probably commit suicide, bro. If they had to go back where they came from, if they had to go back home. Some of these guys ain't got no home to go back to. Because a lot of these guys, they've been fouled all their life. A lot of these guys are fouled, man. Let me tell you something. A lot of these guys these athletes that have played in the NFL, NBA, baseball, whatever, they've been so foul. If they go back home, they might get robbed, man. They can't go back home without security. They might get robbed. That's because they've been so foul over the years. And then some people will say, oh, man, that's just how it is, man. They rob you. No, there's some people ain't going to get robbed if they go back home. And the reason why that is because they well respected where they're from. You know, ain't no place like home for me. I can always go back home. You know, and I go back home, and you know what? People see me. I'm just low. I'm just a guy they grew up with. That's it. They see me just like we grew up together. They don't see no book, no offer, no podcast, no channel. They don't care nothing but none of that shit when I go back home. I'm uncle. I'm nephew when I go back home. That's it. I'm nephew when I go back home. I'm cousin when I go back home. That's it. You know, nobody's hating on me, none of that shit. I can go home, I can fall asleep with the door unlocked and the door wide open. I don't even gotta lock the door when I go home. Ain't nobody gonna rob me. Nobody's coming in there. You catch me off guard. This old crazy shit that they do in the city. You know? Now, for some people, that's unbelievable. Because some people grew up in such a dysfunctional environment. I mean, leaving the door unlocked, leaving the door wide open is like, that's a fucking nightmare, a dream for some people. They're like, you left the door unlocked overnight? Hell no. You know, they wouldn't even believe me if I said something like that. Because they can't do it where they live at. They'll steal everything. No. Yeah. Some of these people grew up in such dysfunctional environments where and there's no, and they had bad examples of, they had bad role models growing up. They don't even know what manhood looked like. This is why a lot of guys judge manhood to the most, manhood to a lot of guys equates to money. If you ain't got no money, you ain't no man. That's how twisted a lot of these guys are. Men and women. Man, being a man to a lot of these guys equates to having money. And if you ain't got no money, you ain't shit. How fucked up can you be? How fucked up can you be, bro? You a man first before the money. Otherwise, you would have never got the money. Well, that's how twisted a lot of these guys are. And women ain't no better. And this is why this is why a lot of women fall for a lot of these guys. That's a train wreck, a recipe for a disaster. You got a guy that thinks him having money equates to being a man, and you got a woman that thinks the same way. That's a recipe for a disaster. That relationship ain't gonna last. It ain't gonna last. It never does last. And then you have these same guys that'll have a gang of kids in most cases. And he thinks just because he got a gang of kids and he can afford to take care of his kids, he thinks he's a man. Yeah, he thinks, hey, I can afford to take care of all my kids. All my kids live with me. Great. I can provide for all of them. Great. But that don't mean you are a good representation of what a man should be. Hell no. Some of these guys, I don't envy them. I don't want to be like them. I wouldn't trade places with most of these guys. Hell no. Nah. Especially the guys that used to be D-boys back in the day. I don't trust D-boys. The ones that used to be, I don't trust them dudes. Nah. Because I understand most of them dudes, they have a price. They have a price. If the bag come through heavy enough, they'll sell your ass down the river. That's how that shit is. But that don't got nothing to do with manhood. Not at all. Now, you should be able to provide for your family, of course. But that don't got nothing to do with manhood. You know? But you don't see that on television. You're not going to see that. There's no reward for it on television. On television, what you see guys wearing dresses or something that resembles a dress most of the time, or straight up gay guys. I mean, it's straight up gay. You know, cross dressing. That's what you see. You see that? I mean, like you seen the BET Awards? Man, they need to just forget about all of that shit. BET Awards should be. They just changed the name. The Hip Hop Award just changed the whole. I don't know what the fuck that was. I didn't look at it, but I just saw a couple video clips. That should be the Drag Awards. Something, boy. I ain't never seen no shit like that. That shit is like. But you know, they got bought out by Bob Johnson, sold it. I think he had to. You know, I think he had to sell it. I don't think he had a choice. You know, shit. You know. So I think they got bought out by, I think Viacom, if I'm not mistaken. So BET is white owned, basically. You know, but that shit is horrible. They don't do that with these other award shows. They don't have all these gay people, cross-dressers on these other award shows. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when they do that, like they do with the BET Hip Hop Awards, it's like a smack in the face. They making fun of us indirectly. You know, it's kind of like, okay, you're the representation of manhood for black men, a gay man. You know, they don't do that with white people, man. They don't do that shit. Name any show on television where you see a bunch of white people that's gay. It ain't none. Every once in a while, you might see a gay man or gay woman. But not like the BET Hip Hop Awards. Oh, no, not like that. Bro, that was next level. Damn. Whew. Providing for your family is bare minimum, being a man. What does that say about those who can't provide? Well, if they can't provide, unfortunately, some guys and gals have been dealt a bad hand. And some people are just not able to provide in a way that they would like. And it's not their fault. In most cases, it's not their fault. They were born into some very difficult circumstances, some people. And they never figured it out. You know, it's hard. Let me tell you something. If you're born in poverty, it's hard to get out of that shit. It's hard to beat that trap. It might take, I had a rich dude tell me years ago. He said, if you're born in the hood, he said it's going to take you about, it used to, when he was growing up, he said it would take you 15 to 20 years to beat that trap. To get out of that shit. 15 to 20. Today, you can do it much less than that. You know, these young guys, they might do it in 5 to 10 because of technology and all that shit. So it's hard to beat that poverty trap, man. You know, you can't. Unfortunately, we don't get to pick our parents. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if your parents can't teach you what they don't know. So I don't blame, I'm not one of those types. I don't blame the kids, the younger kids for things for things they don't know. If they can't provide for their family, it's because they don't know how to. You have to be taught. You know, some people, shit get passed down to them. A lot of people are like that. They don't have to worry about money growing up or worry about money when they graduate from high school. This shit get the trust fund right there. They get the trust fund when they turn 21, as soon as they graduate from college. So they don't have to think about money. All they got to do is focus on going to college, finishing college, starting their career, and build from there. They don't have to worry about debt. Nah, man. If you don't have to worry about student loans and all that shit growing up, when you graduate from college, you got a leg up. You got a leg up, man. Some people don't have that support system growing up. So it's easy for people to say, oh, to get in a name calling saying, oh, you can't support your family, this and that. Man, I don't get into this shit. Because I know how things happen out here for people. And plus, I know what happened to me. At one point, I was out here bad. I had to start all over from rock bottom at one point. And nobody came and saved me. I had to figure shit out on my own. And I met some people along the way to help me out. I made deals with people or whatever. But that takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of thinking. It takes a lot of fortitude, and it takes a lot, man. But I know one thing, nobody's come to save you. I know that for a fact. Nobody came to save me. And I didn't get no breaks. Everything I got, I earned. And I don't owe anybody anything. I don't owe anybody shit. Nobody did me no favors. Now, some people looked out, but I repaid them. No, I don't owe nobody nothing. I earn everything. And there's a lot of people that's entitled out of here. I don't know why they feel like they're entitled. They ain't done shit in most cases. I don't know. You know? But I know I earned everything that I received. Nobody gave me shit. I paid, I paid my way in to get in certain environments around certain people, attached to certain resources. I just paid. I'm like, because I look at it, if I don't pay, it might take me 10 years, 5 years. Shit. I'm not in the 20s no more. I don't know how much time I have left to accomplish what I want to accomplish. I don't know. I'm trying to get it as soon as possible. But that's just my way of thinking. You might say, hey, I got a bunch of time. And that's okay. And you could be right. You might have a bunch of time. But I don't see it that way. And a lot of these guys, let me tell you something else that I learned over the years too. A lot of these guys that are so-called successful, some of them you might see on television or whatever, they didn't do it. They didn't become successful the way you think or the way they say they did. That's another thing. That's something else. That's another thing that I learned over the past 20 years. And there's a lot of people online, they're teaching one way, they're showing you one way, but they didn't do it that way. They didn't become successful that way. See, that's the game a lot of people play. A lot of people had relationships with certain people. And they made a deal, and the rest is history. But it might took them 5 to 10 years to meet that one person or that group of people. It didn't happen overnight, but it might have took much longer. It might take 5, 10, 15 years for them to meet that one person or that group of people. But they won't tell you that. They'll make it seem like, oh, I put in the hard work. I woke up every morning at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. And I had some morning routine and all this bullshit, I'm not saying a routine I'm not saying it's a bad thing. But they make it seem like it's 80%. I had some people say shit like 80% mindset, 20% skill. I I say if you have the right mindset, you can attain or learn any skill. That's what I always say. You know. But I don't necessarily buy into that 80% mindset, 20% skill. I think that's kind of bullshit. Yeah. That's bullshit. If you have the right mindset, you can learn any skill. That's what I say. You know. But definitely your life is definitely going to be the quality of your life is definitely going to be determined by the relationships you have, for sure, 100%. That's 100% true. You know, but a lot of these guys you look up to on television, whether it's a celebrity or entertainer, yeah, they're not. A lot of these guys are not who you think they are. You know, and I always say, if you meet your favorite entertainer, you won't like them. You wouldn't like them. Most of them, you wouldn't like them no more. You would unfollow them on Instagram if you met them in person. And a lot of these people are not approachable either. That's another thing. Because they get approached all the time and they tired. I get it. You know. That's why if I see an entertainer, I won't even approach them. Because I know they get approached all the time. You know, I might speak, but I ain't gonna say, hey, let me get a picture. Nah, I ain't into that shit. You know. I ain't into that shit like that. I ain't really into taking pictures like that. You know. I like videos. I like videos, man. Videos is live. Yeah. So hey, I'm gonna put the link in here, man. Anyone wants to come on, man. Anyone wants to come on and chat, bring it on. Let's talk about it. I'll put the link in here, you know. Yeah, let's chat. I don't even know who that is. You know, I get some crazy messages on Instagram lately, boy. You know. I don't know. I don't even know who some of these people be, boy. I'm telling you. Sometimes I wonder how these people find me on Instagram. And I'm like, I don't know, boy. You got some weirdos on Twitter and Instagram. You got some weirdos and freaks. I'm telling you, boy. Especially Twitter. Whew. You got some weirdos on there, boy. You know, weirdos and freaks, and people getting naked on Twitter. You do anything on Twitter, man. Anything. Whew. Yeah, maybe. I don't think it's going to change much since Elon Musk bought it. I doubt it. You know, but they say Elon went up in that Twitter office firing everybody. Clean house, damn near. He went in there, ruled with iron fists. I think that damn near everybody got laid off. Shit. You know. But that's how most of them guys at the top, that's how most of them operate though. All these guys are assholes. They're not nice guys. You know. Only nice nice guys you see are the ones that's on television. on camera. Those are the nice guys that's on camera for the most part. The guys that are behind the scenes, these producers, people that's running businesses, big businesses, people that started these big businesses, they're not nice guys at all. Like let's take the police chief. Even the police chief is not a nice guy. He might come off as a nice guy when it's time to do a press release, press conference, or something like that. But no, these guys are not nice. They're not nice men. Not at all. The judges ain't nice. The police chief ain't nice. The DA ain't nice. Only the guys on television are nice. And on camera, they're nice guys. But they're weak. They're soft in most cases. Oh, they might be big. Physically might be big. Mentally, they're soft, weak. But that's what they're the representation that we see. They want them there. You know, but check this out. The guys behind the scenes, the guys that founded these big companies, they would never be a commentator. Never. They would never have a show that they had to do 5 days a week at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. They would never do that shit. Never. They would never have a show like with Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless. Them guys would never do no shit like that. Can you picture Elon Musk having a show like Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp? He would never do no shit like that. You got to you got to be there at 6 in the morning on the West Coast. Them dudes would never do no shit like that. Elon would never do it. That show wouldn't last for a week. That show wouldn't last for a week, bro. Because those guys are assholes. And they like control. Elon Musk, he wouldn't even get along with Skip Bayless if he was on there. Skip Bayless would probably be intimidated by Elon Musk. More than likely he would. You know, he was intimidated when Richard Sherman was on the show a couple years ago. Richard Sherman told Skip, I think I live a better life than you. Man, he did not like that shit. You know. He ain't been back. Richard Sherman ain't been back on the show since. Since then. Man, I'm telling you. They only have a certain type of guys be on television. And the ones that are comfortable in their own skin, they're not going to be on that show on television long. There's some guys that have tried to be commentators or have like a sports show or talk show. Some guys have tried it. That shit didn't last, or it just didn't work, or just didn't work out. It just ain't gonna happen. Certain guys, because a lot of the producers or the executives, they're intimidated by certain guys, and they don't want to work with them. That's the main reason why they want guys that's kind of docile, that they can kind of dominate and tell them what to do, and they're not going to buck the system. They want guys like that, especially if you're a black male. Nobody wants to be on television in Hollywood. Nobody wants to be around an alpha male. Nobody wants to be around a guy like that. In Hollywood, now certain people they tolerate, but they only gotta do that, what? Every 2-3 years they do a movie, something like that. You know, let's take Denzel, right? He do a movie what? Every 3-4 years? Oh, that's not that bad. Just put up with him for now. It's gonna be another 4 years before we do another one. So it's not that bad, you know. And I'm not saying he, you know, I just use him as an example because he strikes me as a no nonsense type of guy. You know, he doesn't strike me as the type of guy that's gonna go along with some bullshit. And he might rub a lot of people the wrong way on the movie set. You know, because, you know, a lot of these A-list actors, you know, when they're on set, they like their own trailer. They don't want to share a trailer with nobody. And they like certain things inside the trailer. You know, that's what they want. And then again, there's some people, they'll share a trailer with other people, and they don't need to have all that extra shit. They just want the bare minimum. You know, there's some people that want a trailer by themselves, TV, catered food, all that shit, breakfast, lunch, you know, whatever. There's some actors they just want food. They don't have to have no TV. They don't have to have no internet, computer. They don't have, you know what I'm saying? You know. And some actors want all the extra, all the luxuries. And then some of them don't. This depends. You know. And some people will say those actors that A-list actors that want all the luxuries and all that shit, they'll say this person is hard to deal with. Even though they did the deal with him. They get the movie done. But they'll still talk shit. Say, hey, he's hard to deal with. He or she. I've heard this many times on countless amount of actors and actors. Nobody wants to be around an alpha male, a divine masculine man. No one wants to be around him, for the most part. You know. Now there's some guys, of course, that are not intimidated by guys, divine masculine men. You know. But for the most part, that's not the case. Some guys are very intimidated. You know, some guys don't want to be around guys because they feel insecure. And they feel like they might get exposed in whatever way, whatever that means to them. So they'd rather just not have you around at all. Especially if there's some women around. You're going to take all the girls. You're getting all the damn attention. Taking all the women from me that I want, but I can't get. But when I come around, they flock to me. Guys, these insecure guys think like this. You'd be surprised. And some of these guys you think are masculine. They're not. Will Smith, they're not masculine at all. They're beta. They might look masculine, or they might act like it in the movies. They might act like it during the interview. But real life, no. All you got to do is look at the kids and see how the wife acts. See how the wife behaves. Look at the wife. All I got to do I judge a man by two things for the most part. If I don't know him, I'm saying if I don't know him, I judge a man. I look at his wife and I look at his kids when I first meet them. You know, that's how, you know, that's off top. The wife and kids, that's going to tell me a lot. The first day, the first couple minutes. That's going to tell me a lot about him. Oh, yeah. I mean, and even the man himself, if he wears 400 pounds and he walking around like a big whale, goddamn. Oh, what's going on, man? I know you're not happy. Fuck. This motherfucker eat anything. Shit. But a lot of us, you know, we've been dealt a bad hand, and we grew up and we didn't have the best role models. And as we become adults, we still have a bad representation of what a man looks like. And a lot of us are confused about what manhood is really all about. And I'm happy I didn't have bad role models growing up. That makes me happy. Thank God for that. Damn. See, a guy like me, a lot of guys wouldn't like being around me. And some women don't like being around me either. But you know what? I don't have problems with women. The only type of women I have problem with, for the most part, are hood rats and masculine women. Those are really two types of women I have problems with. Masculine women and hood rats. But for the most part, I don't have a problem with women. And even some hood rats, they don't like what I say, but they respect me for my honesty. So even some hood rats are kind of like on the edge. It's like, hey, I respect what he's saying, but I don't like it. Yeah, that's some funny shit. But for the most part, I don't have a problem with women, man. Not at all. I don't talk about I don't talk about women very often because they hard-headed. They ain't gonna listen. But all I say is this: if you come around me, this is what I'm doing over here. I don't know what happened before you. I don't know what happened before you came over here. But this is what I'm doing over here, and you're not going to change anything going on over here that I'm doing. That's it. My life, my game, my show. That's what I always say. And by the time she gets to know me, she's gonna see that I'm the captain of my own ship. You know what I'm saying? Or else she out.
She belongs to the streets.
Either she in or she out. That's it. So hey, don't forget to check out the Patreon. Don't forget to check out the Love Can't Wait podcast. I put a new episode up there yesterday. And all that good stuff, man. So, until next time, I'm out. Peace. Alright. Just got the call, it's going down tonight. It's a lot of goodbyes here tonight. But then I saw the sky and that I like. Here from Cali, I live in the valley.